Hey guys and gals, welcome to this week's edition of the Whitfield Report audio podcast. Finally back here in South Florida. I'm Sam Whitfield and I want to thank you so much for joining us. Happy July, everyone. I'm glad to be here, and I can't believe that it's July already. Wow, the year has flown by really fast. And I'm super blessed and super proud of all of the work that we've all done as a community to make the podcast even better. When I relaunched the podcast as the Whitfield Report 2 years ago, I could not have imagined that it would grow into something as awesome as it has, especially this year in 2019. I had a bit of a rough year at the end of the year in 2018 with the whole Owen Benjamin saga, but nevertheless, we've been able to produce some pretty great shows this year, and I'm going to keep on recording great episodes and doing good live streams and live podcast shows if you guys will keep listening. I had a very good time at YALCON Memphis, and I want to thank everyone who tuned into that episode in my interview with James Pillon. And thanks for all the positive feedback on the episode as well. I appreciate it. Overall, I enjoyed YALCON Memphis immensely. I had a good time there. But as with any political conference or political movement, YALCON Memphis and the libertarians are not without their criticisms, and I go over some of those criticisms in this week's live stream podcast, which you will hear in just a sec afterward from our sponsors. But real quick, before we do that, I also want to announce that I have started a subreddit for the Whitfield Report community. So that link will be in the description of the podcast show notes, wherever that's located in your preferred podcast app. Or if you want to just simply go to Reddit, you can search r/Whitfield Report, and that will take you directly to the subreddit for the Whitfield Report community and the podcast. So I just wanted to let you guys know about that subreddit that we've got going now. Also, merchandise and apparel will be coming soon, ladies and gentlemen. I promise I am working on that. I've been having to finish up projects for school and whatnot for summer classes, so that has obviously taken priority, that and of course producing the show itself. But I promise that merchandise will be here, if not by the end of this month, by the beginning of next month in August at the very latest. We just have to sort through some technical difficulties, and then we'll get the merchandise store up and running. Once again, folks, I want to thank everyone for supporting this show and for subscribing and downloading the podcast and telling a friend, and also for subscribing on YouTube. And without further ado, let's get this show started. So enjoy this show, and God bless. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Whitfield Report Saturday evening edition. I am your host, Sam Whitfield, broadcasting live from NGC Studios here in South Florida. Finally back in South Florida, and boy, am I glad to be back here. Happy belated 4th of July to you all. Happy Independence Day. I was going to try and do a live stream from mobile, but that didn't work for 4th of July. I think YouTube is starting to... I've been having issues with the Streamlabs app. I don't know if YouTube is starting to block the Streamlabs API for mobile, as well, but either way, the Thursday stream didn't go as planned, but nevertheless, I am back for the show, and Pikers, I don't know why your wrench was taken away. I did clean out some mods who I did go into the control panel of the channel and cleaned house a bit, because there were still some bears who were mods, so I cleaned them out. But anyway, yeah, South Florida, also known as North Cuba, not quite yet OJ's White Bronco, but if the Dems get their way, that will be the case here soon. Anyway, though, contact info as usual. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @SamDave_NGC. Hashtag Whitfield Report. Follow me on Gab at Sam Whitfield, although Gab has been down lately, so, and I hardly ever use it, so I might just skip that altogether. TheSamWhitfield.com if you want my website. Facebook.com/Whitfield Report. Follow the show on iTunes or wherever else you get your audio podcast from. By the way, the audio podcast has been doing really, really well lately. I don't want to give out specific numbers, but we've been doing really well, yeah, the audio podcast has been doing great in terms of ad revenue and just in terms of listenership in general, especially considering that the Bears tried to kind of de-rank the podcast on iTunes at the beginning of the year. Crazy how this whole year began. Anyway, oh yes, and Patreon, of course, patreon.com/Whitfield. Also, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are curious, I now have a Reddit page as well for the show / community, so you can now contribute to the Whitfield Report community on Reddit by going to r/Whitfield Report. So please consider joining our Reddit community there. I'm still learning my way around Reddit, but I actually like it more than Facebook at this point. Obviously, there are communities that you need to be aware of to stay out of, such as just r/politics because that is a dumpster fire. But lo and behold, we have our Reddit community, and for those of you watching on YouTube, that will be available in the show links, and for those of you listening in the audio podcast, those will also be linked in the show notes. All right, folks. So the moment that you've all been waiting for. Obviously, I want to talk a little bit about YALCON and just how my road trip in general went. Let me say a few things first about YALCON. There's a reason why I call myself a conservatarian as opposed to a straight libertarian. And this convention or meetup or whatever you want to call it pretty much confirmed all of that for me. But overall, the trip was really enjoyable. I went with two of my friends who I went to college with, Thomas and Cole, who were great road buddies. And yeah, we were stuck in a car with each other for roughly 13 hours to Florida, which wasn't that bad because we had air conditioning that go around, and we all have our dark senses of humor to keep each other company, and non-stop JRE podcast. So that was good. I did live stream from the road. But it's kind of a worthless stream because by the time I had cell reception good enough to do a live stream, it was pitch dark. But we did a live stream on the way there, and it was just a fun experience. The convention itself was interesting. To put it bluntly, it was more or less a sales pitch for Young Americans for Liberty. They have this new, grassroots campaign pack that they're trying to promote called Operation Win at the Door, which is to basically elect conservative / libertarian candidates at the local level in state houses across the country. And I'm not knocking Yale at all for it. I think it's a worthwhile endeavor. However, with me, with me being in a wheelchair and whatnot, and among other things, I just can't really see myself, unless it's in Florida, deploying halfway across the country to go knock on doors for some local representatives. I have gotten back. I have done phone banks for them, and that's very interesting in and of themselves. But I'm not a door knocker. I'm not a door kicker either. But I would. But if I were, I would much rather be a door kicker than a door knocker for the Johnny Arcade army. But anyway, so yeah, the convention itself was pretty good. I got to hear Ron Paul speak on Saturday evening, which was pretty cool. And I also got to see that Kennedy chick from Fox News or Fox Business, and she is way better looking in person than she is in on TV. I'll just say that. So, with that being said, those were all the positives of the convention. Now I kind of want to dive into some of the negatives, and this is kind of my critique of libertarianism as a whole. Because one theme that I kept running into over and over and over again was this strange fascination that libertarians have had over the past couple of years with open borders. Right? I don't really get their logic behind it, but I guess they're saying that like sovereign borders to a country are basically like a violation of a person's liberty. They basically think that like people should be able to move around, and yeah, that's gonna be a no for me, dog, as that one guy from American Idol would say. I'm not an open borders guy at all. I was actually chanting "Build the Wall," and I pissed quite a few people off. A bunch of spurgy libertarians. I was only like one of 5 conservatives there. Thomas and Cole were like 2 others, but the rest of them were either like extreme libertarians or anarcho-capitalists. Interesting enough, I did an interview. I did do a show from YALCON on the audio podcast on Saturday, where I interviewed an ANCAP, a self-admitted ANCAP. It was a good conversation actually, and I enjoyed the conversation. It was more of a discussion rather than a debate. So I wanted to thank James Pillon for coming on the show last weekend. It was good to meet you. So yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with libertarians as people. I think that they have well-intentioned. I think that they're well-intentioned, some of them, but they're naive as to the reality of the world. Obviously, I think we need some sort of border. Not only that, but we need a border wall. 2 other things that really concern me. I encountered 2 or 3 libertarians there who went so far as to say that we should get rid of drunk driving laws and cops altogether. They basically think that drunk driving or driving while intoxicated should be, fully legalized. And, yeah, because that's not going to cause any problems whatsoever. I mean, granted, drunk driving is a thing, but here's the basic argument of libertarianism. They basically think that, if you're not violating someone else's liberty or life, it should be illegal. So then let me, I actually confused a few of these libertarians by asking the question, so if I'm drunk and I kill someone while drunk driving, I take their life, I violate their liberty and their life. So therefore, wouldn't that be a crime? Just very simple things like that. They couldn't get their heads quite around that. So, anyway, the other really funny thing about libertarians is they claim not to worship politicians, and yet when Ron Paul came into the room, I always want to call Ron Paul Rand Paul. By the way, Ron Paul looks pretty good for 83. Admittedly, he does. But when Ron Paul entered the room, all of these libertarians were like, "You shouldn't worship politicians, man," which I agree. You shouldn't worship politicians because they're politicians. But with that being said, when Ron Paul entered the room, it was like, "Oh my God, Ron Paul is here! President Paul, and the Fed." I mean, if I didn't know any better, I would have sworn a couple of these, young libertarian guys, if they weren't in public, they would have probably taken their pants off, because that's how excited they were that Ron Paul was there. Now, I like Ron Paul, but not that much. I'm definitely more of a Trump guy, but even I don't get that excited when the president is in the room. And finally, and I posted this on Reddit earlier today, or last night actually, depending on, last night. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, no matter how hard I try, ladies and gentlemen, I just can't get away from anything Owen Benjamin related. I can't. Even if I try. In fact, my friend Thomas was like, "Dude, don't bring up Owen Benjamin this weekend." And let me say this. I didn't bring up Owen Benjamin up once. But, and this is a big but, I was in a conversation with a few individuals at Yale after the day's festivities on Fridays. And I got into a conversation with a few individuals about different podcasters and influencers in the libertarian sphere. And a lot of these guys mentioned Dave Smith, and one of these kids mentioned Owen Benjamin's appearance on Dave Smith's podcast. He also mentioned that from what he's seen of Owen's videos, he seems to be a free speech warrior and a pretty good libertarian guy. Those were his words. I asked him how much he had watched of Owen's streams, and this kid admitted to me, not many. I've only watched him casually. So, I proceeded to queue up Johnny Arcade's channel on my phone, and a few of my own clips of Owen ranting about the moon, ranting about the Jews, and talking about, having people killed. The Who Needs to Die clip that I've covered a few times. And let me tell you, keep in mind, we were in room full of libertarians. I was in a crowd with like, 4 or 5 other people, and granted, it was after the day's events, and there were drinks there too. So at that point, I had only had 2 beers, but some of the other guys had way more. And the guy who brought up Owen, once I played those clips, I could tell that this guy appeared to be genuinely shocked. Like, he couldn't believe that the guy he had been tuning into was the same guy who I had been playing clips of, who I pulled clips of. And he did what a lot of Owen Benjamin fans do at first, which is to rationalize that, oh, this is part of a bit. This is part of a bit. All the other guys were like, dude, it's not a bit. And, this is real stuff coming from him. I can generally say that this guy felt bad. So, I'm glad I was able to wake him up to the reality of Owen. But this also got me thinking 2 things. Really, 2 hypotheses. One, from what I've noticed, and by the way, I know that Owen was on Nick DiPaolo's show earlier this week too. I don't know why Nick is still defending Owen. Really, I don't. How he could be asleep to Owen still, or why Owen on Dave Smith. But I've noticed that Owen, when he goes on other people's shows, like Nick DiPaolo's or like Dave Smith, he still likes to try and LARP as a conservative, and he behaves himself when he's on other people's programs or streams or whatever you want to call them. So, on the surface, when he's on other people's programs, Owen plays the free speech warrior guy, which is ironic because clearly he's not in his own chat or in his own streams. But, okay, he pretends to, or it appears that he pretends to play it when he's on other people's stuff. Then, people subscribe to him, they check him out, they get, hooked into what he's saying initially. I don't know what people could possibly get hooked to by him these days, but it seems to me like he knows what he's doing to a certain extent, and fortunately more and more people are waking up to the realities of Owen, but there are still some people who, if they don't get told the truth about Owen early on enough, they do kind of fall into Owen's trap. But again, this leads me to the other question of why is it Nick DiPaolo or Dave Smith or other people actually looking into what Owen's been up to before they have him on his show. It seems very strange to me that they're at least not looking at his streams more before having him on. I don't get it. The other thing I don't get, and this is actually not so much related to Owen, but just streamers in general. I've noticed it particularly with Owen, but I've also noticed it with Jordan Peterson, in particular Crowder, and even Rogan and Gavin McInnes to a certain extent. It seems to me like a lot of these streamers, and I think Owen is the leading case of this. They tend to attract younger men who are in their teens and 20s, who tend to see them as father figures and whatnot, and then they take these online personalities on to be father figures, and I don't really understand that. I never really have. I understand admiring someone for their work, just on that, but I don't understand this whole celebrity culture of worshiping celebrities or streamers like, Big Brother figures or like, father figures. I really don't. Is the world so broken now? Have fathers really become that absent that young men are really turning to complete strangers on the internet, and their words or their doctrine for guidance? Because it sure seems like it, but it's also very, very dangerous too. Well, Johnny, I see. Johnny's a little bit different because see, Johnny already has his shit together. So yeah, Johnny, I will be your dad, because I'm not worried about you. Oh, good God. Oh, good God. Good God, Johnny Arcade. Not that. I don't want to be your dad in that sense. But I'll be your brother. In that sense. So yeah, So yeah, all joking aside though, it seems weird to me that it just seems weird to me that I went to a libertarian conference and I still got people who don't worship politicians, who don't worship public figures, but Ron Paul is daddy to these people, and so is Owen Benjamin somehow, which, again, by the way, I don't know how you get Owen Benjamin out of a libertarian conference, because there's nothing libertarian oriented about Owen. But, so be it. I mean, that wasn't even the most annoying thing to me at the conference. I guess the most annoying thing to me was the constant bitching out, Trump is a statist, he's not libertarian enough. Also, I guess this Justin Amash guy, who was a big figure in the Libertarian Party, Justin Amash left the Republican Party because Trump is too divisive. Who is Justin Amash, you might ask, for the people who are normal at home? Justin Amash is basically some conservative guy who's, a pretty, who's ultra libertarian, and he basically just pulled a Glenn Beck and said, I'm leaving the Republican Party because of Trump. I'm taking a stand against Trump because, he's not a liberty-oriented president, despite the fact that, Trump has made major prison reforms, which was a big libertarian talking point over the years, and also has kept us out of foreign wars and entanglements. Isn't that supposed to be a big libertarian thing? He's not a neocon at all. So Trump is more libertarian than people give him credit for, but he's not good enough for the ideologically pure libertarians, I guess. So, okay, I'm checking the chat because people are trying to get my attention. Sammy, Sam. Okay, okay, are people just gonna keep saying my name? Because, I love it when you guys say my name, but okay, what is your question, John Arcade? And Owen is not behind me. Owen is not behind me. Because if Owen were behind me, that first of all that big glump would trip on the security systems that I planted, and other than that, I mean, Owen's still in Washington for all I know. So, the big yellow box over my shoulder. What yellow box? I'm looking. I'm looking. Oh, do you mean like behind me? Oh, that's a comic book collection there, Johnny. Haven't read any of them in years, but that's what that is. Yeah, top shelf all the way to the right. That's a graphic novel collection. I really should go. I should go through my book collection one of these days. No, I'm not drunk. Also, I really should go over. I maybe should go over my comic book collection. I have a lot of the old Batman comics. I also I have the Watchmen graphic novel in the bookcase behind me, which is Watchmen is one of the best graphic novels of all time. Specifically because of Rorschach, which is basically, if I were a comic book character, that would basically be my persona. So, yeah. I also have Star Wars. I really do need to do a book review of some of the political thriller novels I have, specifically relating to the Kennedy assassination and whatnot, too. So, so, anyway, yeah, oh, yeah, funny thing about Johnny keeps saying I have all the Playboys. Funny thing about that, I did have a few Playboys back in Denver, but when I packed all my magazines and whatnot, those were the ones to go missing, actually. So, there's probably some moving guy with them now, or they're probably on eBay, and I could probably get them again if I really wanted to, but why bother? So, anyway, so what have I missed in the Johnny Arcadeverse this week? I've missed a bunch of stuff in the John Arcade voice, in the John Arcade verse. No, OJ's what wrong is. OJ's what wrong in the chat says Sam has books with secret cutouts where, yeah, it's no, I'm not that truth smoker guy. So, by the way, as I mentioned, you can subscribe to the You can subscribe to the Whitfield Report Reddit page at r/Whitfield Report. But let us go to the let us dive deep into the Johnny Arcade verse, shall we? Okay, the first one that I have to play is is this one. Fact there, I asked to see Owen Benjamin's titties, because that's just too irresistible.
Great, it's Faggot Bear again. Told me I should show off my fine titties.
Every fucking time I look at this, bro. Those little titties. Cute, bro.
You know, someone should really submit Owen into a subreddit called Celebs with Big Tits. There's a I shit you not, there's a subreddit with that name. And I've thought about submitting Owen into that subreddit. Yeah, Owen does not. No. Owen does not. Yeah. Owen's boobs on men, period, are just. It's a no-no. It's a big no-no. And yes, future nobody, Amy does look distressed. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I keep trying to get away from Owen, and I just can't. No activity, liar. Okay, now, this one is, this one actually made me smile a bit today, because as an admirer of Joe Rogan does make me smile, but, I mean, but then you throw Owen into the mix and I had to frown. So, let's play this. Who came up with it? Featuring Joe Rogan and Owen Benjamin.
I would never tell a woman that she has to have kids or, like, not pursue any life that they want. Not at all.
Not anymore, Owen. That's exactly what you do now. By the way, his voice has... Is it just me, or has his voice literally changed since then? This was only like 2 years ago, too. It's insane how much his voice has changed.
Testing lollipops and, and giving out wisdom.
They're just licking lollipops and giving out wisdom, man.
Nikola Tesla sitting in front of...
Whoa, what? Let's go back here a second, son. Who came up with lollipops and wizardry? It wasn't Owen. It was...
to have kids or like not pursue any life that they want. Not at all.
They're testing lollipops and giving out wisdom.
They're just licking lollipops and giving out wisdom, man.
Nikola Tesla sitting in front of a pair of Tesla coils. And he's got his legs crossed, and he looks like the master of the universe. He literally looks like a character.
So, Joe Rogan came up with the lollipops. Not the fancy pants part, but Joe Rogan came up with wizardry before Owen does. By the way, Rogan still looks healthy for, hasn't really changed.
Character in a Marvel comic book.
Yeah.
That guy was a wizard, like a literal wizard.
And that's the guy that would fall in love with
wizardry.
Yeah, because it's like if that like in his mind he's like, yeah, I'll just make all these crazy sparks with my brain and read a book and then just love a pigeon.
The point was that it started like they took over the rainbow. They could take over that too. They could take over camo. They could take over everything.
They
just
took
get it
over all
connected
visual light.
I would recommend a crossbow and a nice rest. What a crossbow is basically a shitty gun.
Yeah.
It's a gun that shoots bolts. I mean, it just doesn't. It's not really a bow. I mean,
Okay, so Owen stole the rainbow thing. I get that. But, okay, so did Owen steal the crossbow thing from Rogan too? Because I don't remember Owen talking about crossbows. Oh, John Arcade says, Owen says Tesla loves to burn, now he says people who think that are retards. Well, I mean, Owen's a retard, so... This is all from the same interview, too. That's what's interesting.
Get the trigger. So all you have to do is just squeeze that sucker off and put the crosshairs on it, and they fly really flat and really fast. Yeah, you could fuck up a fox with one of those if you were so inclined.
I am inclined. Like, that shamed gay guy is the one that hates gay people,
Yeah.
Listen, no one in my family's a serial killer, okay? Like, then you start revealing shit about yourself. Like, whatever you're insecure about, you, secretly are.
Ooh.
Oh, interesting. Guys, everyone else is a sodomite. I'm not a sodomite. Everyone else is. Now, I did see this earlier today, and that was the first thing that was telling. And I mean, again, anyone who's been following Owen's saga for an amount of time knows that, Owen mentions homosexuality so much that he probably is gay.
But
Also, if Owen is watching this, stream, as Future Nobody says, let me just say this real quick, too. Because I keep trying to get away from Owen and talking Owen, but as I met people then bring him up now at conventions I go to. The subject of Owen Benjamin follows me. So here's the thing, Owen. You're not a conservative. You're not a libertarian. You've said that you don't even care about politics anymore, but you've also said to screw Donald Trump. You've actually said that Donald Trump, that Obama was a less worse president than Donald Trump. I still think that you're a DNC plant, buddy. And, at this point, I'm keeping an eye on you to make sure that you can't subvert the election and undermine Trump's presidency. I'm not gonna let you or any of the other alt-right Spurgs be the reason why Trump doesn't get elected. That's my end game at this point with Owen, is making sure that this moron doesn't fuck up Trump's chances for re-election in 2020. Yeah. Future Nobody also says the Bears will be goose stepped into Islam. I can't wait for that big reveal. Well, I mean, I called that shit 2 months ago though, with Owen converting to Islam. So again, the reason why Owen is still getting covered on my show is because, believe it or not, he does tie into the election somewhat. I just mainly want to make sure that asshat here can't, I mean, he's not that influential as a figure. But even so, if the left tries to do the thing of alt-right figure Owen Benjamin and Trump, blah, 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 because that's what the left will do, I'm just going to be like, nope, not a conservative. He has nothing to do with us. He doesn't even like Trump. So, They will try and use stupid people, stupid morons like Owen who were once associated with the right to try and paint Trump in a bad light. But, it's not gonna happen, dog. Trump is gonna win again. So. So, yeah. Well, also, can we promote Alan Powell to the Secret Service? Alan Powell would make a dope-ass Secret Service agent. So... Anywho, back to Owen and Joe.
Damn, that's deep.
Well, sometimes I'll find myself hating on a group of people, and I'm like something about me is that, or else I wouldn't care. Like, you start ignoring basic reality to get clicks or, outrage culture.
The way the Catholics rape kids and the way the Jew rapes kids is they do it to take essence from them, from the boys. They put a dick in their asshole so that they fracture their spirit. Muhammad, peace be upon him, married a 9-year-old and gave her babies. Was with her the rest of his life.
So, Owen, is that what happened to you, buddy? Is that what happened? Did your soul get fractured via penis into anus insertion? Because that's what you're telling us at this point.
I begged you guys earlier to not make me defend Muhammad, but no one listened. So now you're going to get a big defense of Muhammad, and you deserve every bit of it. You deserve every bit of it.
Just go through any race, and you're like, look, it's always It's that Chris Rock joke that I won't repeat because of my privileged. Yeah, I played football, so like when you talk about brain injury, sometimes I'm like, man, am I going to end up crazy? Because I used to take so many hits to the head.
Yo, I got a scam. You want in? Oh. Catholics, you might want to listen up. We can fucking evolve skin that doesn't burn in the fucking sun. They created money.
Yep, he's a schizoid now. Totally a schizoid.
And debt. And we went to the moon. But I don't want to do it. Do it, Oreo. We pay your fucking taxes now. Do it, bitch. Ugh, God, fuck.
What does Owen have? Okay, so this part I am generally confused about. What? So Owen's mad at Oreos now? Like the cookies? What did Nabisco Oreos ever do to him? They're delicious. In fact, I'm pretty sure Nabisco can actually. I haven't gotten any new sponsorship offers through Anchor yet for the podcast, but I'm pretty sure Nabisco. I think they might be doing podcasting advertising now. I'm not sure. But it would be hilarious if I got Oreos as a sponsor. So.
Hey, relax, Owen. It's not a big deal. Just chill out. Stop yelling. Stop yelling. People either get it or they don't get it. It's not your job. Yelling it doesn't make it any better.
Whoa.
I want to hear what the KKK has to say.
Hold up. That was...
Stop yelling. Hey, relax, Owen. It's not a big... Ugh, God, fuck. Hey, relax, Owen. It's not a big deal. Just chill out. Stop yelling. Stop yelling. People either get it or they don't get it. It's not your job. Yelling it doesn't make it any better. I want to hear what the KKK has to say.
Yeah, legit schizoid now. Holy crap. Okay, now, people keep saying that the Owen is going to convert to Islam. I have no doubt about that. That's definitely going to happen. In fact, let me pull up a clip from my channel. I actually have a video predicting this from a few months ago, so I rarely ever play old clips of the show, but I've been saying this for a long time that Owen is going to convert to Islam. It's just a matter of time. So okay, let's see. Okay, now this is... Jeez, this is going, This is going a while. This is going. Oh, okay. I finally found it. So, this is a clip from a month ago. This clip is from May 31st of this year. TWR bonus. Will Owen convert to Islam? Let me maximize the screen here and play this. So, clip number 4, go. This is my prediction about Owen converting to Islam from May 31st, ladies and gentlemen.
White women hate white men. And they're just going to get plowed like the driven snow by a bunch of Muslim men because Muslim men don't cuck like white men. They don't. And you can say all you want about Muzzies. You know, oh, Muzzies fuck goats. Muzzies fuck sheep. So do the Welsh. So do the Australians. Last time I checked, they're fucking white. And so, Muslim men will be like, you shut up. You sound like bitch. And these white women are like, oh, I'm so not transphobic. It's like these white men are just like, whatever you want. Yeah, kill my baby. That's great. No, a Muslim man's like, do not, if you touch my baby, I kill you. And they're like, that's all I need to hear.
So, I don't know about you guys, but, judging from that clip, it seems pretty clear to me that Owen is going to be converting to, Islam in maybe a year max. That's my prediction. And not just Islam, radical Islam. I mean, he's already headed that way, kind of, with the whole cult thing. And much like Muhammad, Muhammad saw himself as like a savior figure, and so does Owen Benjamin. Owen Benjamin said a few months ago that he wants to be able to decide who lives and who dies. And, same with Muhammad. Kill the infidels. Owen blames the Jews for all the evils in the world. Well, guess what? So did Muhammad. Good luck, Owen. Homeland Security is going to be looking at you in a year or two, if they're not already. Wow, I was way off. It's happening even sooner than I thought with Owen now. So, and I might have to also pull the clip of Owen saying who needs to die, because that one is that one still haunts me. So yeah, thank you, Sam, from a month ago. You were right on. So, yeah, the Islam conversion is coming, Owen. Owen is going to be converting to Islam. And then once that happens, I can turn into my other alternate personality as well. You're not the only one with split personalities. I can turn into my alter ego of Jack Bauer. So, yeah, that's right. Jack Bauer is my alter ego. So, Um. In all seriousness, though, yeah. The Islam conversion, it's just a matter of time before Owen declares a caliphate some shit like that. So, all right. So, oh yeah, that's right. Jeff, I mean, actually, not Jeff. You are cool, El Hefe, but Josh brings up a good point. He says, look for Owen Smith on Epstein's flight list. So, breaking news, sort of. Jeffrey Epstein has now been arrested. So, I'm going to pull up my news app here and see what's going on. Okay. Oh, okay. Alright. Jeffrey Epstein arrested for sex trafficking of minors. Jeffrey Epstein was arrested on Saturday and will appear in New York court on Monday to be charged with sex trafficking, according to multiple law enforcement sources. Billionaire pedophile Jeffrey Epstein was arrested for allegedly sex trafficking dozens of minors in New York and Florida between 2002 and 2005 and will appear in New York court on Monday, according to 3 law enforcement sources. The arrest by FBI NYPD Crimes Against Children Task Force comes about 12 years after the 66-year-old financier essentially got a slap on the wrist for allegedly molesting dozens of underage girls in Florida. For more than a decade, Epstein's alleged abuse of minors has been the subject of lawsuits brought by victims, investigations by local and federal authorities, and exposés in the press. But despite the attention cast on his alleged sex crimes, the hedge funder has managed to avoid any meaningful jail time, let alone federal charges. The new indictment, which, according to 2 sources, will be unsealed Monday in Manhattan federal court, will reportedly allege that Epstein sexually exploited dozens of underage girls in a now familiar scheme, paying them cash for massages, and then molesting or sexually abusing them in his Upper East Side mansion or at his palatial residence in Palm Beach. Epstein will be charged with 1 count of sex trafficking of minors and and 1 conspiracy to engage in sex trafficking of minors, which could put him away for a maximum of 45 years. The case is being handled by the Public Corruption Unit of the Southern District of New York, with assistance from the district's human trafficking officials and the FBI. Okay, so good. I don't want to stick on this topic for too long here, but by and large, it seems like Jeffrey Epstein is finally getting his comeuppance, and if you ask me, the sentence isn't strong enough. I would personally give the guy the death penalty if it were me. Nah, screw the death penalty. I would just go Frank Castle on Epstein's ass and end it. Do it that way. So, anyway, I guess Mike Cernovich is also trying to take credit for this whole thing with Epstein getting arrested, but I don't know. Mike Cernovich likes to take credit for lots of stuff, including Trump's victory. But anyway, so that will do it here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you all so very much for tuning in to the program. From all of us here at NGC Studios, good night, God bless, and God save this great nation. God, freedom, legacy, in that order. I will be doing an after show stream with some of the regular savages, so be sure to tune in for that. I know that Future Nobody has been wanting to stream with me for a few days now. I've been out of town, but I am back now officially. So anyway, folks, thanks for tuning in, and I'll be back for the after show here in just a bit. God bless and God save this great nation, and thank you for watching the Whitfield Report.